Today I'm going to be talking about my children's book. I'm going to go into more detail about some of my thoughts behind it and how I started it. Let's begin. So I first got the idea for my children's book by just reading books. I love reading, and one day a thought dawned on me and I was like, why don't I write my own children's book? And I eventually did, and you can too, if you'd like. So I started with the words of the book first. Anne loves apples, and every July she picks apples from trees to make apple pie. It took some time for me to write the words because I wanted the story to rhyme. It was a huge requirement, but I also wanted the rhymes to make sense. I love children's books that rhymed when I grew up, and nothing against the ones that didn't, but the ones that did really stood out to me. So I wrote out what I wanted to happen in the story, where I wanted it to take place, and I also wrote out some rhymes that I enjoyed. The words were not perfect, and that's okay, because you can always revise as you go, and that's what I did. There was a ton of revision. So once the words were good, I went straight to sketching some characters. Now, since I wrote my words first, I knew I will only need 2 characters for this story. I started with some rough sketches on paper. I don't know how well this will show up, but there we go. Here are the sketches. And the 2 characters I decided on were a little girl and a rabbit. They're kind of cute, aren't they? I wanted these characters and the world around them to have vibrant colors. Also, I like my designs to sometimes reflect how the character acts. So Anne is a sweet girl and the rabbit is a little more mischievous. Once I decided on some designs that I liked, I started sketching out the pages. Now, I did these sketches traditionally first. Here are some of the sketches. Hopefully you can see them. And I sketched out each page to get an idea of the layout. And then after that, I moved the sketches to my phone to start the line art. Now, this is when I started doing everything digitally. The first thing I did was I drew all the line art for all the pages of my book. And during this time, I tried to make sure that the characters were at the front and were the main focus. And while the background isn't the main focus, I make sure that it has some nice details as well. For the line art, my style of drawing tends to change quite a lot, so I try to do the line art over the span of a week or less, because if I take too long, the drawings may end up looking completely different. Okay, now I move on to coloring, and this is when I complete each page individually. So I color a page to completion before I move on to the next page, and this includes coloring the characters and the background. I like my books to be full of color. This is one of my favorite parts because drawings really come to life during this step, and I like trying out new things here as well. For example, for my backgrounds, I like having them lineless sometimes. My characters keep their black line art, but the background sometimes does not. I'd say coloring is when I am most creative because the planning parts are done and you can just freely color until it looks the way you want it to. And to make sure that my characters' main colors don't change, I have a color palette for them. So here's Anne's color palette, and here is the rabbit's. I also add lighting and shadows as well during this time, and I just keep building up color until the end result looks good to me. Once the pages are fully colored, I check them over and make sure there are no coloring mistakes or the characters aren't missing anything. Like, I make sure Anne's dress looks similar throughout all the drawings and the rabbit has the ribbon around their leg. I also add small things like clouds in the sky or patches of grass. The great thing about art is that you can always build on top of it and make it look however you like it to. Once the details are finished and I like how the page look, I move these drawings to another app so I can focus on adding the words. I've mentioned this before in another video, but I always leave space in my drawings for the words of the story. The drawings are nice, but I'd say having good word placement is very important as well. I want my readers to be able to easily read the story and enjoy the pictures. And since my book rhymes, I make sure that the sentences end with the rhyme. So here's an example. With the help of Mom, she bakes the sweet treat, but don't touch it, Anne. It's too hot to eat. See? Treat and eat. I also try to keep the words towards the center of the page because if your words are near the edge, you risk them being cut off when the book is printed. More about that in another video. So once the pages are colored and the words are in the right place, I am finished. Or am I? I still need to draw the cover. Usually, I just use one of my drawings from the book as the cover, which makes things a lot easier. So here is a page from my book. And if you look here, the cover has that page as well. I do make some adjustments like extending the art or taking away some things, but ultimately they're the same page. Now, once the cover is done, the cover also includes the back page and the spine as well. I would say that I am finished with making my book. There may still be a lot of revision because I tend to be picky, but it's done and I love it. I would say writing and illustrating a book takes some time, but the end result is always worth it. So don't hesitate to try it yourself. If you would like to purchase my book, it is available on Amazon. Link in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!